I was reading this book. It's called The Shallows, What the Internet Does to Our Brains. And the guy in the book, he talks about neurologically what repeatedly, like if you keep doing things over and over, what it does to your actual mental state. So it says, I'm going to read this, just bear with me. Another experiment conducted by a researcher at the National Institute of Health provides even more remarkable evidence of the way our patterns of thought affect the autonomy of our brains. The researcher recruited people who had no experience playing a piano. They taught them how to play a simple melody consisting of a series of short notes. He then split the participants into two groups. He had the members of one group practice the melody on a keyboard for 2 hours a day over the next 5 days. He had the members of the other group sit in front of the keyboard for the same amount of time, but only imagine playing the song without ever touching the keys. Using a technique called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS, the researcher mapped the brain activity of the participants before, during, and after the test. He found that the people who had only imagined playing the notes exhibited precisely the same changes in their brains as those who actually pressed the keys. The brains had changed in response to the actions that took place purely in their imagination, and response, that is, to their thoughts. Descartes may have been wrong about dualism, but he appears to have been correct in believing that our thoughts can exert a physical influence on, or at least cause a physical reaction in our brains. We become neurologically what we think. So that's saying, in essence, that if you think with the correct mindset and you think, I'm going to get this done over and over and over, every time we always talk about mental reps. That's why it's so important, because if you can visualize yourself doing it, then when you go out there, your body will naturally respond to what you've thought in your mind. So that's where mentally it comes into play, that you just have to know that I'm going to sit down, I'm going to be better mentally as the person across from me. Even if he's better physically, if his mind's not there, I'm going to beat him every time. So mental toughness is the way to win.
Appreciate it, Ashton. So the idea here is, let's take that and apply it to where we are. We're not very tough on day number 5. So what will we think about now? What will we think about? Being tough. That's what you need to think about this weekend. What it is that can keep you off the field. What it is that would make you lay on the ground and wallow around while 1,000 people stare at you. It ought to be a lot that would force that scenario. Everybody with me?
Sure.
Okay.